It winds through the poplars and the pines. I know where this road goes. It takes me to the music at the Timberline. Takes me to the music on the Timberline. Takes me to that music up on the Timberline. Welcome to the Timberline Music Show. I'm your host, Larry Krause. Gary Larson is joining me again on guitar. Going to have a half-hour music show for you here today, and kicking it off with an old cowboy classic. You'll recognize it. Oh, the cattle are prowling, the coyotes, they're howling out under them western skies. The cowboys singing, his spurs they're jingling, 'cause down the trail he rides. Hours he'll ride on that range far and wide. The night wind, it blows up a squall, but his heart's like a feather, don't matter the weather, and he'll be headed home this fall. Cattle are bedded, on night guard he's headed, ain't nothing seeming to be wrong. He casts up his eyes to the starlit skies and sings to them this song. He'll wake up a-yawning, and he'll be drinking his coffee strong. Makes his bed in a row, and down the trail he'll go, and he'll be singing this cowboy song. He's brown as a berry from riding the prairie. He sings with an old Texan drawl. Singing his cattle call. Hear his cattle call.
There's a little country churchyard in the pines, where the sunlight of the Spirit always shines. All my family's buried there, rest in peace without a care, in that little country churchyard in the pines. Dear old mama, she's been dead and gone a while, but I always will recall her loving smile. So I go to visit her where she lies beneath the earth in that little country churchyard in the pines. When I die, I wanna lay beneath the pines, just to be there for the ones I left behind. All my family's buried there, rest in peace without a care, in that little country churchyard in the pines. Now my daddy always knew just what to say. He could always make my hurtin' go away. To his graveside now I go, tell him all my tales of woe, in that little country churchyard in the pines. When I die, I wanna lay beneath the pines, just to be there for the ones I left behind. All my family's buried there, rest in peace without a care, in that little country churchyard in the pines. All my family's buried there, rest in peace without a care, in that little country churchyard in the pines.
Wooden towers on a western plain spill the trucks and they fill the train. They hold 1,000,000 pounds of grain. There was not a building greater. They stood out lined against the sky. There was nothing else that reached so high. They snagged the clouds as they drifted by, or the prairie elevator. When I was a young Saskatchewan lad, the best times that I ever had. Go down to the stockyards with my dad. I'll do the farm chores later. The agent shack had a coffee pot. There was cigarettes and the farmers talked. I'd play outside on the wood catwalk, on the prairie elevator. And the harvest grain had flowed down from the hoppers like a liquid gold, and the loaded boxcars rolled from the prairie elevator, oh, the prairie elevator. Now everywhere in our little town you could hear that friendly engine sound that turned the feeder legs around and drove the generator. It was the hub of our community. We built a whole society. It's our national identity. Oh, the prairie elevator. And now they're dying one by one, tearing down, the job is done. There's no more rails for the trains to run. They're using trucks for freighters. Federal, Searle, and Pioneer, but they all slowly disappear. A remnant of a bygone year. Oh, like a liquid gold, and a load of boxcars roll from the prairie elevator. Oh, the prairie elevator.
Today on the Timberline Music Show, we are really pleased to have with us Great Plains, also known as Daryl and Saskia. Great to have you here. How are you folks doing today?
Thanks, we're doing great, and thank you for having us.
Oh, it's great to be able to have you on the show. Guess for starters, where are you guys from? I know it's kind of varied, so just break it down.
Saskia's from the Netherlands. I was born in Montnebo, and we met in the mountains in Revelstoke, playing music.
Excellent. So what led you to the style of music that you play? Like, it's nothing that you could really nail down as calling it a style, but where do you draw from for your music that you play?
Little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You know, we have so many different people that inspired us over the years. You know, of course, we played with Gary Felgard for a few years, so he was a major inspiration with Valdy, Ian Tyson sometimes, as well as, you know, the major singers like Emmylou Harris and back in those days. So just the Celtic singers, just everything that, that we heard over time.
Well, you've got an interesting history, you know.
Our music was, we had to compromise because she was classically trained and Celtic background, and I was a country rocker.
Well, you managed to mesh that very nicely. So now you write a lot of your own songs. And the one thing I always like to ask songwriters is where do you draw from in order to be able to get that thought to pen to paper to music?
Well, good question, Larry. We used to struggle and sit in the attic with a candle and no heat, but that's too much work. Now we just wait for inspiration. We're too lazy these days, and we get some little snippets and we write them down on a notebook and pack them around until we got the time to record, right?
Yep, yep.
And speaking of recording, what have you been up to as of late? What have you got out for discs right now?
We, a few years ago, we started playing in churches more and more and more. It was just fit our lifestyle and our age factor. And they always asked us, when are you going to put all of those gospel, spiritual songs together and make a gospel album? Well, we just did that. Our latest project was a bluegrass gospel CD called The Holy Ground. And we've been touring around with that, and we're still learning the songs, so it's part of it.
And sometimes that's kind of an ongoing process.
Always.
So if all of a sudden we wanted to book you guys in for a concert, or we wanted to find your music, how would we go about tracking you down?
Well, we have a website. We have the Great Plains website, so it's greatplains.ca. We have a Facebook page, also the Great Plains, or one with Daryl Delarond or Saskia Delarond. On Twitter, we're on YouTube. We're just all over the place.
All over the place.
Yes. Yes.
Now you tour a lot.
Yes.
And talk a little bit about touring and about taking your music out to the various different venues. You mentioned churches. How far afield do you go, and talk a little bit about that?
Well, we go all over the place. Next year, as a matter of fact, in April, we're going to be playing in Europe. We do that every second year or so, so we'll be going to Switzerland, Germany, Holland, Belgium. We like to play the small communities in Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba, and British Columbia, because what happens there is we really touch with the grassroots of people. You know, we really get to know the people. We get to have the squares and the coffee after, and it's just really a wonderful lifestyle. Yeah,
there's something about the small communities and being able to go out there and perform in lots of times areas where just nobody thinks of going. Exactly. And the appreciation level out there for that is just incredible.
Yeah, for sure. We love that. They're so kind.
So what have you got in mind for future projects? Like, you know, I always ask performers, what are you looking at down the road? Because there's always that little spot on the horizon that you're targeting. What do you have to?
More of the same. You know, we love writing and we love recording, and we travel and we gather stories as we go, and we wrap them into new songs, and we've got some exciting stuff out there. One of our new songs is about Gabriel Dumont. The other one we played today was The Auctioneer. So it's still prairie-based, Great Plains stuff. There's a no end to the amount of information we can glean off of the prairies and put into songs. So we're staying with what works.
Well, and it's working very well for you. Well, thank you folks very much for being on the show. Great Plains, Daryl and Saskia, it's been my pleasure to host you.
Thank you so much, Larry. Thanks for having us.
And we're going to be right back after this break.
Swing in the big front yard, trucks rolling up, clouds of dust. Right behind was the auction bus. Man stepped out, city boots, Panama hat, and a seersucker suit. Never seen anything like him around here. That's when I met the auctioneer. Gum, said your new life has just begun. From all of this toil I'll set you free. Years from now you'll be thanking me. Upset up like a circus ground, farm folks coming from miles around. Daddy was worried if he'd make enough. Strangers pawing through our stuff. Our lives turned upside down. Gonna get a job, gonna move to town. Family home for 100 years. Blame it on the auctioneer. Seen country life. I don't know if that's wrong or right. Sometimes memories flood my mind. Barefoot girl, summertime, how'd my life now appear if I hadn't met the auctioneer? Our lives turned upside down. Gonna get a job, gonna move to town. Family home for 100 years. Blame it on the auctioneer. Our lives turned upside down. Gonna get a job, gonna move to town. Family home for 100 years. Blame it on the auctioneer.
Took a 2-week holiday from city office chores. I went back to the heartland and the town where I was born. I visited that little farm where the old house used to stand. I walked the hills and the meadow larks above the fences sang. Well, I went to all the places where my younger self was raised. I drove my car to the old churchyard and saw the family grave. Every place was special, it sang right to my soul. It was clear my roots are here, it's beauty to behold. I'm a-walking on holy ground, I'm a-laying my burdens down. Starting today, gonna find a way to turn my life around. I'm a-walking on air, no worries or care. This new life that I found is holy ground. one is seeking change. It's more than just your furniture you have to rearrange. Man is made of many parts, all equal to the sum. You can't tell where you're going if you don't know where you're from. I'm a-walking on holy ground, I'm a-laying my burdens down. Starting today, I'm gonna find a way to turn my life around. I'm a-walking on air, no worries or care. This new life that I found is holy ground. I'm a-walking on holy ground, I'm a-laying my burdens down. Starting today, I'm gonna find a way to turn my life around. I'm a-walking on air, no worries or cares. This new life that I found is holy ground. This new life that I found is holy ground.
I was raised on the lone prairie, yellow clover and a wild red rose. Father was a dairy hand, springbank had a right calling me. He was stern but kind to me. He was a good God-fearing man, God-fearing man was he. Then I met a boy from town, dancing eyes and golden hair. He kissed me out behind the store. I fell in love right there, swore he'd love me without compare. Kept me in secret many times more, down on the bluebird trail.
And he said, meet me out on the bluebird trail, down in the meadow by the railroad tracks. Your life seems like living in jail. You're too pretty to be wearing black. I've got friends in Calgary, we can live so wild and free. We'll run away and never look back, down on the bluebird trail.
I grew too scared, I got cold feet. How could I leave my family? I almost ran, I nearly bailed. I thought my trembling heart would fail. He waited there to no avail, down on the bluebird trail.
And he said, meet me out on the bluebird trail, down in the meadow by the railroad tracks. Your life seems like living in jail. You're too pretty to be wearing black. I've got friends in Calgary, we can live so wild and free. We'll run away and never look back, down the bluebird trail, down on the bluebird trail, down on the bluebird trail. I believe my steps are growing wearier each day. Still I've got a journey on my mind. The lures of this old world have ceased to make me want to stay. My one regret is leaving you behind. proves to be His will that I'm the first to cross, and somehow I've a feeling it will be. When you have to travel likewise, don't you feel lost, for I will be the first one that you see. I'll be waiting on the far side banks of Jordan. I'll be waiting, drawing pictures in the sand. And when I see you coming, I will rise up with a shout and come running through the shallow waters, reaching for your hand. Through this life we labor hard to earn our meager fare. It's brought us trembling hands and failing eyes. I'll be resting on that shore until you journey there, and when you come we'll both see paradise. I'll be waiting on the far side banks of Jordan. I'll be waiting, drawing pictures in the sand. And when I see you coming, I will rise up with a shout and come running through the shallow waters, reaching for your hand. I'll be waiting on the far side banks of Jordan. I'll be waiting, drawing pictures in the sand. And when I see you coming, I will rise up with a shout and come running through the shallow waters, reaching for